Imagine being the fastest woman in America, securing your spot for the Olympic Games, and then losing everything in a single headline. No gold medal, no stadium cheering your name. Just a global suspension, a broken heart, and millions of people on the internet calling you a failure. When the sports world looked at Sha'Carri Richardson in 2021, they didn't see a champion. They saw an athlete who burned out before her prime. They thought her story was completely over. But what happened next is one of the greatest, most defiant comebacks in the history of track and field, because she didn't just return to the track, she shattered the entire system. But before we look at the historic race that changed everything, you need to understand the dark reality of where Sha'Carri actually came from. Because her speed wasn't born in elite luxury training camps, it was born in pure survival.
My name is Sha'Carri Richardson.
Sha'Carri Richardson grew up in Dallas, Texas, and from the very day she was born, life was not easy. She wasn't raised by her biological mother. Instead, she was abandoned at a young age and raised by her grandmother, Betty Harp, and her aunt. Growing up without your parents creates a specific kind of pain. It leaves a scar. For a lot of kids, that pain turns into anger and despair, but for Sha'Carri, that pain turned into pure, unadulterated velocity. When she was on the track, nobody could touch her. The track was the only place where she felt completely in control of her life. By the time she reached Louisiana State University, LSU, she was a force of nature. As a freshman, she didn't just win the NCAA 100-meter title, she ran an insane 10.75 seconds. That time shattered the collegiate record and made her one of the top 10 fastest women in human history. She was just a teenager. With her long, bright hair, her sharp nails, and her fierce attitude, she didn't look like a traditional track athlete. She looked like an icon. The world was at her feet. She turned professional immediately, signing a massive contract. The Tokyo Olympics were calling her name, and the entire planet was ready to see her wear the crown. June 2021, the U.S. Olympic trials. Sha'Carri lines up in the 100 meters, points her finger at the clock before she even crosses the line, and wins in 10.86 seconds. She was officially an Olympian. America had found its next global superstar, but just days after her biggest victory, the nightmare began. A reporter called Sha'Carri and told her that her biological mother had passed away. Think about that weight. Just days before the biggest moment of your life, the woman who abandoned you but who you still loved is suddenly gone. To cope with the devastating emotional shock, Sha'Carri used marijuana. It was legal in the state she was in but strictly banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency. She tested positive.
Her biological
The
mother
hammer
had
fell
passed away a
immediately.
week
The
before the
U.S.
Olympic trials
Anti-Doping
began.
Agency issued a 1-month suspension. Just like that, her Olympic dream for Tokyo was completely dead.
Recent suspension from the Tokyo Olympics.
Sha'Carri Richardson is now banned.
The internet backlash was brutal. Critics who loved her a week ago were now tearing her apart. They called her undisciplined. They called her a waste of talent. Nike executives were pressured to drop her. She went from the highest peak of human achievement straight into total isolation. When the suspension ended later in 2021, Sha'Carri tried to return at the Prefontaine Classic. She wanted to prove the doubters wrong immediately, but the track is unforgiving. If your mind is broken, your legs won't save you. She finished 9th place. The stadium was dead silent and the internet exploded with mockery. The memes were endless. People said her freshman records were a fluke. In 2022, it got even worse. She failed to even make the final at the U.S. Championships, meaning she missed the World Championships entirely. An athlete who was supposed to rule the world couldn't even make her own national team. Imagine that mental torture. You watch your rivals win Olympic medals on television while you are sitting at home fighting depression, watching your name trend for all the wrong reasons. Most athletes never recover from this. Once the media writes you off and your confidence is shattered, your career is usually done. August 21, 2023, the World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary. This was the ultimate moment of truth. Sha'Carri made it to the 100-meter final, but because of a poor semifinal run, she was forced into lane 9. In sprinting, lane 9 is the worst lane on the track. You are all the way on the outside. You can't see your rivals, you are completely alone. Next to her in the middle lanes were the Jamaican Titans, Shericka Jackson and the legendary Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Combined, they had won dozens of world and Olympic medals. Nobody wins a world title from lane 9 against Jamaica. It is statistically impossible. The gun goes off. Shericka Jackson takes a powerful lead. Fraser-Pryce is right there. It looks like another Jamaican sweep. But out in lane 9, a storm was brewing. Sha'Carri Richardson executes a perfect drive phase. At 60 meters, she begins to fly. In the final 10 meters, she rises up, closes her eyes, and flies past the greatest sprinters on Earth. She crosses the line and looks at the scoreboard. 10.65 seconds. A new world championship record. She didn't just win gold from lane 9, she ran the fastest time in the world that year. The stadium exploded into total chaos. The outcast queen had officially reclaimed her throne. After the historic gold medal, she looked at the cameras and said, "I told y'all, back then they thought I was finished. Now I'm just getting started." She proved that your past does not define your future. She proved that a girl from Dallas who lost everything could stand on top of the podium as a world champion and an Olympic medalist. Now look at the big picture. Sha'Carri Richardson is in her absolute prime. She has the best coach, the ultimate mental armor, and the support of millions worldwide. The Los Angeles 2028 Olympics are just 2 years away, right on home soil in America. The stage is perfectly set for the ultimate crowning moment in front of a home crowd. So I need you to go to the comments right now and tell me, can anyone on earth stop Sha'Carri Richardson from winning 100-meter Olympic gold in Los Angeles 2028? Drop your thoughts below. I read every single comment. And if you love these deep underdog sports stories, smash that subscribe button right now. See you in the next one.